What's up, fellow classers? It's Apollyon here, and we're going to focus on the attack strategy that I haven't shown for quite some time. I've shown mass witches and witch variations, but now we're going to go to the bowler witch attack strategy. In my opinion, or not in my opinion, but in my experience, probably the least reliable for me. I can't get the attack down correctly as far as reliability. I've used it, I've 3-starred with it, but it's just very spotty for me. But we have a lot of clan members on both our team and our clans, as well as our opponents, that use this attack religiously and are very consistent with the results. We're going to show 3 different variations of it, and that's another thing. There's I guess you can call it one standard bowler witch attack that will show, which was what I always knew. But you can use so many different variations. So we'll look at the first one here, and this one is going to be using bowlers, witches, and healers. So we're going to have only a couple of giants, like 4 giants, but we're going to have 6 bowlers and a bunch of witches, and we're just going to use those bowlers to do funneling along with the queen, along with the witches. The witches are drop down, and healers right behind them, so they're going to be able to distract the king without any splash damage going on. It's going to be focused on all those skellies while the witches go ahead and take it down. We've got the wall wrecker here coming in at 2 o'clock, and it's going to have to deal with this CC. I think we have 6 freezes, if I'm not mistaken. So there we freeze the CC under poison. We still have one, I think, witch that's outside the poison, but they'll be taken care of by the skellies and the king. And then we're just going to continually freeze that Inferno Tower over and over. We do have the Inferno Tower also still up at 6 o'clock, and we have a P.E.K.K.A. that just popped out of the wall wrecker. So we're going to have to make sure that we keep her alive by using freezes on that Inferno Tower. We have 2 more left over. We use a jump to make sure we push down towards that Inferno Tower. There goes the freeze, and we have all of those witches coming up at 6 o'clock under heal. The healers are going to switch to the queen, which is not sometimes is awesome, but in this case not necessarily the best thing. We really want those healers on the witches, especially when they're dealing with a wizard tower or going against a wizard tower. But I think the queen is going to step up and take care of that, or not. The witches will handle it themselves. Very low on health though, but we've got a king. I don't. Do we have a king up? No, I think our king is down. But we do have the queen up. No more healers. We have a whole bunch of witches that are still up, going up the side, and we finally lose our queen. But without any splash damage, these witches will be able to take out all these trash buildings and a couple point defenses. The only thing that would really be a huge problem would be if there was a big giant bomb in between that cannon and the archer tower. But as these witches have, I don't think, hardly any health whatsoever, but they have so many skellies that they're going to distract these cannons for them. And the archer tower, there we go. They can't trip giant bombs, so there'll be no problem there. And now it doesn't even matter, because with all these skellies, even if there was a giant bomb between there, these skellies would be able to handle that. So it's all over. Really, really nice attack. So that's a little variation. And again, you just have to see where the air defenses are and what your goals are of which kind of composition that you're going to use and what's the best that's going to suit you. Now, this attack right here by Hilda, this is the most standard bowler witch attack that I've ever seen. Like, this is the composition I use: 10 bowlers, 10 witches, a couple golems to tank, and just pushing in everything through the core, and having a couple of those witches and bowlers that are going to go up the flanks on either side. There we go. No healers involved here. We've just got 2 golems, and unfortunately this one golem is going to be dropped a little soon, so it's going to fall into the range of the Inferno Tower and get taken out pretty quickly. But we do have a wall wrecker right behind it. I think we have 1 freeze that's there. The Inferno Tower is locked on the golem. It's going to pop it, and now it's going to go on the golemites. We do freeze it. I don't think that freeze was really necessary at that point, but that's just fine. We've got the wall wrecker coming in. We're taking care of that CC with poison, and we've got the king, queen all getting pulled in there with all the bowlers into that CC to take care of it. The queen kind of goes on her way up towards 2 o'clock and helps those bowlers and witches out on that side, which is a good thing because they need to take care of that bomb tower that would splash all of those skellies, which is just very important. Very, I don't know, I want to say lucky, but very good that that happened. And then we've got the king popping his ability and using that to get through these walls and take out some of those outside defenses. We've got witches coming at 6 o'clock, and under a point defense of the Tesla is going to be no match for tons of skellies and witches to take it out. We've got the queen still full health and with ability going through the base, and we do have to worry about that one mortar that's taking out a couple of them, and then we have to really worry about that giant bomb. But look at those witches with the increased buff that they got since the latest update. They can withhold a couple small bombs and a giant bomb like that, and they still keep going. Whereas before that this update would have happened, that would have been the end of them. Queen pops her ability, and just to take out that last archer tower. Now we've just got the rest to take care of, which is going to be no problem with 4 or 5 witches up, tons of skellies, queen full health, and everything else. So really, really nice attack. Again, the key for this is getting that whole entire kill squad right through the core and taking out everything, and then letting the witches and bowlers come up on the flank. All right, the last one, we're going to look at more of a mass bowler with a few witches. And the reason why I don't like this strategy as much as others is watch how many bowlers are lost on the entrance to here. I think we lose at least 6 bowlers, maybe even more, when we start using them to funnel the outside. I think it's just a real waste of them. We've got giants, wall wreckers coming in at noon, and then all these bowlers that are being dropped here, they're all going to die. I think there's at least 6, maybe even 8 of them, and that's a lot of troop space. We're talking almost 50 troop space of bowlers that are going to be lost within here just for a couple buildings to be funneled, whereas a baby dragon might have been a little bit more effective, but we do get some of the bowlers to come in. There we go with our witches, and everything's coming through the core. We've got looks like a mass loon CC, which is actually very powerful against this particular strat. If we didn't have the poison at the right time and freeze them, one drop from 7 balloons can take out your entire army, so it's definitely a nice poison there and nice freeze. And then we've just got to make our way through the rest of the base. We do have a witch and 4 wizards that have not been deployed yet, but look at that wall wrecker. It is still up and still coming through the rest, so it's just bulldozing a path all the way through this entire base, which is the key to this victory here. If that wall wrecker did not make it all the way through, I don't know if we would have been able to get as much value, and they probably would have been banging on walls. It also helps a little bit that this is not a max Town Hall 10 base with max defenses and everything, and I think that aids in that a little and help to beat it too. Not sure we would have got the 3-star against the max Town Hall 10 here, just because the defenses would have probably taken out a lot more of those, and we couldn't afford to lose as many bowlers as we did. But now we have those giants that are just completely tanking for all the rest of the kill squad, or at least the queen and bowlers that are in there, and the one witch that is trying to make its way out. We do have a couple of point defenses that are still there at 3 o'clock, and they're going to hit a giant bomb and get completely taken out. Now we have a witch and a couple of wizards that are going to try to do the best that they can. They will be able to take out that archer tower, but the queen is going to easily make her way in, and with tanking of of her archers, she's going to take out that cannon. And then we have this last building, this builder hall, that the wizard will take out in one shot. So really, really nice strat. Some people are incredibly effective with this bowler witch combination. Again, I like mass witches. It just works out much better for me, and I find that they're not as fickle as bowlers are, and they're not, even though they don't have a lot of hit points, the witches, they seem to stay up a lot longer than the bowlers do for me. But anyway, there's 3 different types of compositions for you with 3 different style of bases. So the only way to do it is to figure out, what kind of value you're going to get and how much you need on each side of the base and how much you need to get through the core to get the 3-star, and use your friendly challenges to figure out the composition that works best for you and the one that you're most comfortable with, whether you're going to bring golems or giants, how quickly they're going to run into the inferno towers and tank, how much splash damage they're going to run to initially will help you determine whether you want giants or golems and all that kind of stuff. So go ahead and practice these friendly challenges. Use the different compositions of spells and get used to the placements and the timing of that. Get your 6-star clan wars and practice those 3-star attacks.